G'day everyone, Matt and Holly here. We're in sunny South Australia in summer.
Which is not so sunny or warm at the moment.
Absolutely freezing at the moment. So we thought we would do a bit of a Q&A. It's been a while since we've done one of these. They're a good way to sort of catch up. They're a bit of fun. We get to answer your questions about everything we've been up to and our plans kind of for the future, I suppose.
So we did do a question poll on Instagram. A lot of people did get back to us with questions that they've asked. So thank you so much if you did. We have kind of gone through and listed some that are probably more important, more relevant, with a lot more information to start with. And then we'll have the smaller questions at the end. So, yeah.
And some have been asked multiple times, so we're going to ask those.
So first question we got asked quite a few times is how much did the Troopy cost and what was sponsored on the Troopy?
Yes, it's a question on everyone's lips and everyone's very curious to know. I have done a video previously on sort of our first phase of the Troopy about costs, which you can go back and watch, and I do plan on doing a full video and run through how much everything costs, what was sponsored, what wasn't, just so you can make more informed decisions about your own purchases. If you were to do this Troopy today, if you were to pick it up and go and put everything that's on it, it would probably cost you about $210,000.
Yeah.
I just feel like someone's like drinking tea like this. They're just going to be like, what? Yeah, $210,000 would probably actually be about $10,000 more because all the 70s have gone up about $10,000. So
yeah, they have. So if you have put an order in and haven't received your car, unfortunately, your prices would have increased.
Yeah, so it's an insane amount of money. It's a lot of money in anyone's books, including for us.
Definitely.
We've put a huge amount of our own money personally into it. A lot of gear has been sponsored. We've probably got $80,000, $100,000 worth of gear in the car, which obviously helps a lot. It's a big part of the channel and everything, and it's, helps us create videos and do what we do. That being said, everything that we have in the car, I just want to put this out there, you don't need any of it. You don't need all this stuff. Like, if you want to tour, something like this might not be viable, but the dream of touring is in any setup. And I hope Holly and I have proved that with all our previous stuff. Like, our first setup in the Hilux was just so basic.
And we even have been talking about that of late as well, how basic it was. And I suppose, yes, we did years ago put out a video saying you don't need a 100k rig to travel Australia. And you don't. And Matt said in the very start of that video, you don't need that rig. But one day I would love that. And I suppose we've just worked hard to be able to be in the position that we are, to work with amazing companies that we work with, to build vehicles like this.
Yeah, that was very, well, a bit preachy.
So if you do want to know exactly what was sponsored, what wasn't, the full cost, Matt is going to do a full run through of everything. That video will be out in a little bit. So just keep your eyes out for that.
To do it.
Yeah.
This next question, advice for people who are thinking about touring but unsure of what mods to do to a car. So again, this goes back into what I was just saying before, that you don't actually need any of this stuff. You do not need all this. And don't watch these videos and think for a second, oh geez, I'd need all that stuff to go touring. I think a lot of people fall into the trap of watching all these videos and they just pile all this stuff in the car without ever actually going anywhere before they've used it. The best thing to do is get your car, whatever you have, it can be a little all-wheel drive, like Subaru Forester, Outback, whatever, your four-wheel drive. Go to a basic camp. It's where Holly and I started, just outside of Sydney. And go to Anaconda or something and just get the basics, just get a tent, $150 and a few camping chairs and a basic stove cooker. And then from there, figure out, one, if you even like camping and touring.
Yeah.
Two, what you will actually need from there. So there you can slowly build up and you can go, all right, well, I want a more comfortable and convenient sleeping option. So how can I do that? Maybe I'll get a rooftop tent, or I want better organization of my car. So I will get a canopy, but just start with the basics first. So that's probably what I
suppose some major basics would obviously be making sure your car's mechanically sound, and we always recommend a good set of tyres. If you are thinking about travelling around Australia, just having a good brand of tyres on your vehicle will help.
Help a lot. Just keep it safe and
hopefully stop the amount of punctures and things that you might get. So make it more enjoyable.
Also, I think invest in the best sleeping option you can afford at that time, sort of the most comfortable, because if you don't have a good sleep, you don't have a good trip. That's
Yeah,
the
you
way
won't
it
enjoy
works.
yourself,
So
so.
that's why we've always had the most comfortable setup that we can possibly have.
Next question.
Opinions on the new 2024 Cruisers. So yeah, the new 2.8 litre autos are out along with the V8 manuals with the facelift and a bit more tech in the 70 series. I absolutely love them, and I'm so happy they're still making them.
Yeah, because we did hear rumours that they were going to discontinue them. So
Well, discontinue the V8. So
well, yeah, and the Troopy even. So yeah, glad they're not.
Yeah, I'm glad they're still making them. I'm glad we've got like more options now, more engine options, and people say, oh, how they're going to be going towing. Honestly, half the caravans in Australia are towed with that engine. Prados, Hiluxes, Fortuners, everyone tows them, and they seem to go pretty well. And you only get really good power out of the V8s if you tune them, and you spend like a decent amount of money on your clutches and all that kind of thing, your exhausts, like we have. And I absolutely love the tune in this car. It's one of my favourite things we've done to this car. But yeah, it's the price of entry to actually unlock that kind of power is, it's not cheap. So yeah, I reckon the 2.8s are a great thing. I like the way the facelift looks. I love these bonnets on like the one we have. I love the facelift though. It looks cool. I reckon with a few accessories. Yeah, I reckon they're going to be a huge hit.
People are always, I don't know, not keen when
a new car
comes out. Yeah, if it's new and it's different, because you're used to what you're used to. But the more, we've been looking at it, I don't mind it. I kind of wish we kind of had more tech in this car, just with like the steering wheel. I like that.
Yeah, the steering wheel's really nice.
Yeah.
The new speed on that. Yeah, it's like the 40 series. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, love it. I reckon they're going to sell like hotcakes. I reckon Toyota have a lot of very smart people working for them. So I think they're going to sell really well. I love them. Maybe one day, I don't know.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows?
Yeah,
we don't even know. All right, next question.
What's your mate Adrian's winery called?
So if you have watched our travel stuff, you would know that Adrian does come along for quite a bit of it. His winery is called Obsession Wines. He's based up in Tumbarumba, so he does cold climate wines. Chardonnay is probably his biggest thing, a lot of whites, and then he actually does still make some pretty big reds as well. Yeah,
and if you think he knows a thing or two about fixing cars, he knows a thing or four about making wine.
All of his wine is really good. Him and Ellen work really hard behind the scenes, especially over vintage. So from February till usually when we go away for a trip, they are flat out working 24 hours a day.
Yeah, just huge days.
Yeah, so if you like wine, definitely pop on his website and check it out. We will put it down probably down the bottom of this video and then down in the description. We also have a discount code which will save you a bit of money.
We'll chuck it up on the screen as well.
OLT15 will give you 15% off.
So support Adrian if you like you like him on the channel. He'd love to make some sales through us. And
exactly.
It's really good wine as well. So for the silly season, why not? Hey, for Chrissy.
So next question is
how many Ks on the new rig? I think there's just under 30. Or it's actually nearly 40,000 now, and about 22 or 23 of that was our trip that we did this year,
which was our Canning trip. So Canning, West Coast, obviously then back through Gary Junction. Simpson does it to home.
So big trip, 22,000, 23,000 Ks, and the majority of it, I'd say 70% was on dirt. If not more, 80. It was rough. So the car's not looking too new anymore. There's a few little things we've got to patch up on it.
We even went to the Sydney show in September, and people were surprised that it was 12 months old, which is a bit sad.
Well, when you're taking it, so where we've taken it, it just happens. But it's lucky we got like the wrap and stuff on it.
Yeah,
it definitely helps. Are you planning on going a different brand fuel tank in the Troopy? So if you're watching our stuff, you may know that we had a failure of our Brown Davis sub tank on the Canning stock route, and then after that in the Gary Junction after it was repaired, which is a bit of a shame. And we were kind of umming and ahhing what we wanted to do. We were thinking about a warranty replacement. We ended up getting the money back, and we went with a completely different brand. We went with the Long Ranger fuel tank. It just kept coming up in the comments, like people saying, oh, I have a Long Ranger, I've never had any issues, and that kind of comment was popping up a lot. We've got it in now. It's the same capacity. It's a 170 litre sub tank. First impressions are it sits higher than the Brown Davis, which is a good thing. Obviously, the higher the better, just for going over rocks or getting any kind of damage to it. Even the pickup on the Brown Davis, we actually had some issues with when we would go over corrugations and it was a quarter full. It would just like conk out, the engine wouldn't get fuel. So I had to take it out, prime it, switch your tank and everything, which is just a bit of a pain. That was a bit odd. So that hasn't happened. We've run it pretty low yet. So that seems to be better. Brown Davis had the bung to drain it on the side, and it actually protruded out, and that was an absolute nightmare to drain on the Canning stock route because it literally just went out sideways, and trying to catch fluid that's coming out sideways is a pain. The one on the Long Ranger, it's on the bottom, but it's recessed in. So, and it's got like a protective kind of ring around it. So, just a better design. If I ever did need to drain it, it's
right
the fluid
there.
goes down. So they're just like the basic sort of observations I have so far. We haven't tested it in really remote conditions yet, but just from the comments and the way it seems to be put together, I'm confident that it will be good.
Yeah.
So yeah, time will tell. But yeah, that's been changed over.
Yeah, and again, we are going to be doing a full video about that, just explaining probably in depth what we've just spoken about.
We're going to be doing
now.
a Troopy update.
Yeah, which we'll have
because we've
that
had a
out.
few things change. Yeah,
Yeah.
the Troopy, which will be out similar time to this video. So keep an eye out for that.
The next question would be, how's the Headspace conversion holding up? So again, we are going to do another full update video on that. We just
purely
need to,
on the Headspace.
Yeah, we just need to film it. But all in all, it's good. If you did come to the Sydney show, you would know that we did actually change our roof cap off. So we've gone to his high top version, which is an extra 40
mil higher. So just to explain, he wanted to change that over for the show to promote the high top a bit. And we were keen to get the high top on because we were looking for a little bit more room in there for an extra mattress. Again, I'll explain all this in the update video. All in all, we had a few small teething issues with the first one. Nothing major, and a few things that was probably, I don't know, a little bit of our fault.
But at the end of the day, it was a brand new product, and we took it on the canning stock
Yep.
route. So the fact that we were even able to test a brand new product, in probably the harshest conditions in Australia, I think is a testament to the product itself.
Yeah, so don't worry if you've got little alarm bells ringing if you've ordered one or whatever. I will do an update, I'll explain it. But we love the conversion. We're sitting inside now. We're out of the elements. It's freezing. It's windy outside. We love the pitch, how high it is.
Yeah.
We love the way it looks. We love the canvas, the windows, the awning. So there's really good elements to this. And the new high top now has allowed us to have 125 mils of mattress in there all the time permanently. It's super easy to set up and pack up.
Yeah.
So we're loving the conversion. As I said, I'll do a full update on the issues that we had with the first one and how it's been rectified.
Next question, tag along tour.
Ooh, that's an interesting one. Tag along tours, and a few other people have asked, you know, can we come hang out? Can we come along? Enough people have asked us that question now that Holly and I kind of got the gears turning in our heads, and we sort of linked up with Adrian, got onto him, and I said, what do you reckon about doing a tag along? So this is the first time we're sort of announcing it. We are considering a tag along tour, starting in New South Wales, heading up to the Flinders Ranges, one of our favourite places in Australia. We'd love to show people around there. Up through the Oodnadatta, and then across the Simpson Desert. So if you've been wanting to do a trip like that, and you might not necessarily have the confidence, or you might not have a crew to go with, this is what the tag along tours are all about. And there's also quite a few experiences that we've managed to throw into the tour from our travels. We know sort of a lot of station owners along the way. We know business owners that run these sort of tourist kind of things and things to do in certain areas that are kind of a bit exclusive and not necessarily something that you might be able to do just traveling by yourself. So if you are interested in a tag along tour, it'll be a paid thing, of course. It'll be 2 weeks.
Yeah.
If you are interested, and if it's something you've been thinking about that you would like to do, send us an email. We'll put our email down below, and we can just sort of get the conversation going, and we can even send you a tentative itinerary. Costs would be Holly and I, Adrian and Ellen.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think it would be a lot of fun. So yeah.
So we are thinking May next year. So it is obviously 6 months away. So we are, as Matt
Conscious
said,
of time.
We are conscious of time, still in the planning phase, but we're just trying to lock everything in before we do start taking bookings.
Yeah.
But yeah, as Matt said, if you are interested, please get in touch and we can go from there.
Cool.
So next question, if you could change your suspension knowing what you know now, would you?
We originally went with the Terrain Tamer 3780 parabolic GVM with the multi-drive track correction, which is a true tracker, stub axle extension. Initially, the springs weren't enough, so we changed to the 700 kilo constant Terrain Tamer springs. Again, they've really helped. That all being said, would I change it again if I knew what I know now? With how heavy our car has become now that it's finished, probably, yeah, I would like to go, because we're touched over GVM. We're over GVM when we're fully loaded with us in it, which isn't great, because I feel like as a YouTuber we kind of have a responsibility to do things properly, and I would hate for someone to do something based on what we have done and then it not be legal and they run into issues or just something like that. So I feel like we have a bit of a responsibility. That being said, the Terrain Tamer parabolics and the shocks and the multi-drive True Tracker have been fantastic. They're a really good product. So if you can kind of keep your weight a bit lower than us I think it'd be a fantastic option to get, you know, your track correction and a really comfortable ride. I think we'd probably need, up it again, or we'll just have a look at what options what we would have now.
Favorite upgrade to the Troopy. Someone has also asked, so which I'll link into this question as well, about the Troopy, 5 things you can't go without and 5 things you would change or do differently. So I suppose we'll go our favorite thing and then top 5 and then things we might do differently.
Okay.
Favorite thing.
The build out. Build out's probably my favorite thing. The
yeah.
livability of the build out.
Yeah.
As I said, we're in it now. It's so well put together.
Yeah.
If you haven't watched the build series or the build out, it was done at Project Overlander in Sydney by Steve and the boys there. It's just powder coated alley. It's held up so well over the trip. And it kind of includes everything. What's your favourite thing?
So I suppose it would be the same as Matt. The build, like, there's the 5 things is probably easier to answer because it's hard to just like say one thing. So I'm gonna go with 5. The build out, the conversion, which obviously links into the livability, the seats, the tune. What else do I love? Oh, and just our hot water probably.
Yeah.
Or even our upright fridge. Like, I don't know, there's a lot of things to love.
A lot of things to
because
love.
it's just easy. It just works.
Yeah, like we were camped on the beach for a couple of days in South Australia, and we didn't use the inside of the Troopy much when we were travelling with friends, because when you're travelling with mates and they don't have somewhere to sit inside, you tend to sit outside and just hang out with them, even if the weather's a bit windy or something. Like, it'd be a bit rude of us just to jump in the car. And like, you want to hang out with them anyway. But since we've been travelling by ourselves, being able to get inside is just amazing. Holly and I were both editing on our computers, you know, had the computers plugged in, our upright fridge is going, freezer's going. We had the shower set up because we're on the beach, so we'd go for a swim, jump out, have a fresh rinse. An extension onto that is the Headspace conversion. Just as a 2-person tourer, getting a conversion like this on a Troopy, I think is just, it's unbeatable for ease, comfort, getting out of the elements, things like that. So yeah, the build out, that's a big thing.
And so the best thing about this build out, we obviously worked with the guys at Project Overlander to kind of design it, but they've taken it one step further. They've refined it. They've made it, in my opinion, a bit better than ours is. And it's now a just like little tweaks, nothing major.
Tweaks.
And they are hoping to, or they are selling it as a flat pack product. So if you're in WA and really like it, they can ship it across and you'll just put it together yourself. Which I think is a really good option.
Yeah. So yeah, if you want the exact same build out, it can be done now and you don't have to go to Sydney necessarily.
Yeah.
Double check with all that with Project Overlander, but I'm pretty sure that's the direction they're going.
Yeah.
Besides that, like the drivability of the car, the tune, I love the tune in the V8. If this is the way I put it, if someone didn't think they needed the tune in the V8 and they had the car and they drove around for 6 months and they borrowed a mate who had a tune in his V8 and drove around for a couple of weeks and then they jumped back in theirs, they'd be like, okay, I want a tune straight away.
Yeah.
It just makes it so nice to drive. Comfort, the seats,
Yeah,
and we've got
like
some nice little updates
everything.
as well. Like the heated seats have been wired up. So look, there's lots of things I love about the Troopy. Things we would do differently. One,
which we have kind of spoken to Steve at Project Overlander about this, just moving our water heater. So now he has done a few setups, where it is underneath one of the cavities. Because you don't really need to access it, and that would just give us more shelf space. Another thing I would potentially want to change, which, I don't know, this would only happen if we were to ever do another Troopy build. The cavities are great, but for us as filmmakers with all of our camera gear, we wanted to build this car as an off-road camera rig, and it is somewhat like that. We did set up one drawer when we travelled full-time like that, but when we're doing multiple jobs, whether it's like mainly commercial gigs and weddings, our camera gear comes like in a big box, which we have to set and fit into the build-out. I would love if you could fab up, say, a pull-out kitchen out the side of the Troopy, and then where our kitchen is now, have our cameras accessible.
Yeah. And it's like making a decision, is the Troopy a good camera car in that regard?
Is it better to do a dual cab with a canopy where you get, like...
It's hard to make a car do absolutely everything.
Exactly,
So for like the general population, this build-out is perfect, is awesome.
And we do make it work.
Yeah, it's just a unique use case base with us. I changed anything else. The flares are getting changed.
Which we are changing.
ARB flares are going on. The Connect 4x4 kind of just got ripped off from the canning.
Yeah.
And mud flaps as well. We're getting new mud flaps. So just kind of, it's a little tidying things up.
And we did also just recently change our radius arms over as well.
Yep, JMax radius arms. As I said, I'm going to do an update on the Troopy and the things that are going on it, so check that out.
How do you stay fit while travelling for weeks at a time? And the answer to this is we actually just don't.
We just don't.
It's good on the people who work out on the road.
Yeah, Angie and Chris.
Yeah, good on you guys.
The outfit. I mean, there's no excuse, but it's just hard because it's harder. You're not in a routine, but also you imagine you get up in the morning and you do a workout and you're in the middle of nowhere. You're going to be dirty, you're going to be sweaty. What do you want? You want a shower.
Yeah.
Showers aren't always accessible, or it might not make sense to use, water like that. So that is one hard thing. Another thing is if you're traveling in a convoy and you pull up, you've driven for 4, 5, 6 hours.
8 hours.
Yeah, 8 hours plus. You're in the middle of nowhere, and they get the fire going. They crack a beer. You sit down. You're not working out.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny in the videos. I reckon, like on the recent travel ones, you can slowly see me getting fatter towards the end, just like slightly fatter. I was like 103 kilos by the time it finished.
And then anyway, so we do get home and we do start working out again when we get home.
But yeah, if you can manage to stay fit while you're on the road,
good on you.
Good for you. Maybe we should make it a challenge. But again, I don't know how to do it anyway.
Yeah, this time round, Court was quite good. She did quite a bit of a few runs and stuff. So one time we were at a caravan park in Alice, there was a gym there. So I suppose if you do stop at van parks quite a bit, maybe just utilise the facilities if they have them.
Yeah, there's that. But like Courtney would just go for walks.
Yeah, well that's the thing.
She would do
The
Simpsons. She was like, drop me off here before camp. I'll walk the last couple of Ks.
Yeah.
Like 2 Ks or something.
I think she was doing a challenge where she did at least a 20-minute walk a day.
So that could be a way to do it. 20-minute walk would probably go a long way, especially if just been sitting down in the car.
And that's the thing. We sit down when we travel all day. Might be a silly question, but do you sell prints of your amazing photos?
So,
not a silly question.
Not a silly question. I have been working on my drone photos recently, and I've been really, really loving it and getting into it. We got a new drone a little while ago, Mavic 3 Classic, and the photos are a step up quality and something I'd probably be pretty happy to print on a large scale. I would have to have a think about how I'm going to do it, but whether I just do prints, but it's like framed prints. We had tried to sell prints in the past, but they don't really sell. Not many people buy them. That being said, I could probably do a better job in sort of promoting them and selling them.
But if you're interested in prints, maybe just let us know in the comments.
Yeah, more than happy to do just a custom one for you guys. We've got a really good printer. We can send you it in a tube. You can get it framed.
Yeah, or even if you want them on our website as an option, like we do have a drop shipping kind of printer in Sydney. She's great. Her quality's really good. So what is a typical day in the life consist of? Quite interesting. A lot of people do assume we just travel full time, which we did to start with, which is totally fine, but we do have a home base in New South Wales now. We're very lucky that we are in a position where our work is now our main work. We film and photograph weddings.
Yeah, so bread and butter.
Yeah, our wedding season in New South Wales is the start and end of the year.
If you do want to get married,
let us know.
If you are getting married, and you need a photographer and a videographer, we can do both. That's why we are here in South Australia at the moment, actually. We just filmed a wedding in Mount Gambier. Sam and Sarah, thank you very much for your day. It was a great day. We have a home. We bought a house at the end of last year. We like having a home base, and we like having consistency, and we like sort of building a bit of a nest egg and a business as well. Traveling full time is fantastic, and if you want to do that, that's all credit to you. It's great, but there does get to a point where you kind of like, I just want to I just want to go home and bit of a routine, and just to make some money. And so we do that. We do commercial work as well. We do heaps of stuff.
But our general day in the life, if we're at home, we literally wake up, get on the computers, we're editing the majority of the day, if we're not out filming. So we're either shooting or we're editing.
But when we're on the road, a typical day is what you see in the vlogs.
Yeah.
Seriously, yeah. If you want to actually have a look at what we do, just check out our travel vlogs, and that is what the day looks like. It's we film it pretty true to how everything actually happens.
We had a question saying we just started our own big lap, taking inspiration from you guys. You want to come hang out, if you want to do a tag along tour, let us know. How much water do you carry, and how much does your shower use?
So we have a 90 litre long range automotive water tank, which goes in between our main tank and sub tank. It's actually a really clever design because the handbrake cable runs through the tank through like a tunnel, so it's actually, we're not having to take out a sub tank or anything like that, but it's hooked up to a little pump, so we've got the tap on the for accessing the side to get our water, and we also have a 12 volt heated water cube, which is like 6 litres from Aquios, and that's our shower. It's amazing, and we can turn it on as we're driving, so by the time we get to camp we can have a hot shower. The biggest issue with it is you can just stand there for ages and have a really nice hot shower and probably use a bit too much water. But it's great for a rinse. The water's hot. It's quick, convenient. You know, you don't have to boil a pot and get your...
And it mixes with our main tank, so it feeds both water.
So it heats the water up 6 litres up to like 60 or 70 degrees, and then it will mix, and you mix it yourself with, to the temperature that you want.
How much water do we use? So we probably, it kind of varies. For the two of us, we can probably do 90 litres within a week, including showers.
Yeah, but we could stretch it for 2 weeks as well.
Yeah, I think the longest between fill-ups was our very first fill-up, and we went 10 days before we were empty.
And that was having showers and stuff, so we could stretch it out. If we didn't have showers,
if we didn't have showers, we would have so much water.
Yeah, it would last for ages. We used to travel around Australia with like 40 litres in the Hilux, so like, it's doable, with that amount.
Another question about how do you keep your clothes white and clean while camping and touring?
Let Holly answer this.
So, it's actually quite funny, I've got washing on at the moment. White clothes are hard because you always see all the Instagram influencers and stuff in their beautiful white clothes. We, probably as of this year, I've taken less white clothes because it's just a pain to wash. Usually when you go to caravan parks like we're in now, a load of washing was $5, so to do a dark and a white, that's $10.
So how do you actually do it?
I just wash it in a washing machine. Yeah.
Do you wash it on the road though? You've washed clothes.
Yeah, we've washed clothes in like a dry bag. If it's white stuff, I'll either hold it till we get into town where I can use a washing machine, or if it's old white stuff, it just goes in with everything else. It just depends.
Yeah, so we use a dry bag. So if you don't know what they are, they're just like a waterproof bag. Water can't get in, but water also can't really get out. So we just chuck clothes in there, put a bit of water in it, put a bit of laundry detergent, and actually chuck it in our spare gear bag if we're going over rough roads. And the corrugations, everything will just give it a bit of a wash. And then we've got like a couple of different options for clotheslines at camp, so we can just hang stuff out. So we've done that quite a few times as well.
Yeah, we did a lot on the canning, and it was great on the canning because you kind of did get fresh undies and stuff, but then by the time we got to Perth, it was time to do a machine wash.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I just wouldn't recommend doing that all the time. Would you, or have you both ever considered taking the Troopy overseas and touring? We would love to.
Yeah, we would love to, and it was something that we were discussing years ago.
Even the start of this year, we were kind of discussing, sending the Troopy to New
Europe
Zealand.
or New Zealand.
Yeah.
We looked into it, and it's expensive, and the car, we wouldn't have the car then when it's in transit. And even years ago, I was like, I want to get a Troopy and go drive to London, across the world. But I think for us, honestly, that ship might have sailed. I don't want to say never, but life's getting in the way. Things are busy. We've got a business. Pretty much the business is keeping us at home. We still get a really good opportunity to travel around Australia, but unless we kind of probably had a car over there already and went over and just did it, then that would be a way we could do it. But
we still definitely want to do some overseas travel, but it's probably more cost effective for us just to fly over and travel.
Yeah, and not film it. Not do YouTube on it. So
rather
just
than
actually
shipping
have a bit of a holiday.
Anywhere,
Yeah, I would have loved to have done it, but ship might have sailed, but anyway.
I don't know, maybe one day, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. And then we'll kind of go with this as the last question, because the others have either been answered or they're kind of double ups. What's the hardest thing about your type of lifestyle, working and living on the road?
So when we are on the road, the hardest thing for me is probably just like consistency in your day. Not like I do like being at home and you get up, you have your shower and you have a nice long hot shower, and then you can go to the gym throughout the day. Things are just easy at home, which is it's all right to have a bit of comfort every now and then. Besides that, road's pretty, I don't know, we've got such a good comfortable setup now.
We've got such a good comfortable setup. We've got a great life. Probably one of the hardest things is we at the moment are working unsocial hours. So we work on weekends when all of our friends are off work, and then I suppose because we are running our own business, it's great being our own bosses, but then sometimes we are so busy that we actually can't take time off. So it's a bit of a double-edged sword, but we wouldn't change it for the world, I don't. So another question, any future plans or trips with old HJ47 or old car builds?
Yes, there is. We would love to restore Elsie. It's on the cards, just sort of getting the time and probably money to do it. If we can swing it, we will. I kind of want to make a bit of a New Year's resolution to just really get started on the car and just to see how far we can get. So we want to restore Elsie. I'd love to do trips with her in the future. We do. I don't know. There is another old car back on the farm that I'd love to get going, but I might leave that under wraps for a bit. It's an old Toyota, so it'd be pretty cool to sort of get it going. Not our old Hilux, but yeah, it's something similar.
We have another question on LC. How do you find long drives in LC with the 4-speed gearbox? Would you go big tyres or a 5-speed?
Look, LC's a bit of a pig on road, as in like on like the highway. Like it's definitely pretty taxing driving it. But we did heaps of Ks in LC on
probably
huge
over
drives.
40,000.
No, it was like 60.
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah, we actually have 33-inch tyres on, which actually got the revs down a bit when we were on the highway. 4-speed was all right. You could go 100 Ks. The thing about 40 series is when you go over 100 Ks, like you could if you have the 5-speed, but also they're just a handful to drive over 100. Like 90 Ks where they're happy. If you go 100, 110 in them, they're like all over the place, like they're bouncing around. You've got two hands on the wheel. It's loud. It's so loud. So you can do all that. You know, you can get a 5-speed and you could go 110 in them. You know, put a 12 HT or something. But yeah, they're a handful. So yeah, look, just take it easy in those old girls. I reckon 90 K is where they're happy. 94 kilometers an hour. That's where they're happy.
Now I've had another question. What do you think of the PJ Ranger? Would it be a good first car?
Absolutely. If it's in good condition, just make sure it's in good condition. If you can get a really good deal on it, which you probably can because I feel like they've flown under the radar a little bit, they're probably a great car. I mean, we went around Australia in that old Hilux, and I know the PJ Ranger would have more power and comfort and, you know, tech than that old Hilux. And, you know, the whole Hilux went great. So if you can get a good deal on it and it's, you know, in really good condition, yeah, go for it. It'll treat you really well. I think it goes for most four-wheel drives, to be honest.
What have you spent on a new rig versus the old one?
Well, new rig, we've answered that about $210,000.
Yeah,
well, what have we spent? We obviously haven't spent that because we've got the car on finance and everything. But
yeah,
the old one, I mean, we were pouring. We spent heaps of money on that. Like things would break on it all the time. We were always doing something to it. But
Yeah.
I don't know. We probably spent 30 grand on Elsie.
I was going to say even
40 grand.
I don't know.
Yeah. It adds up really
It
quick.
does, and it's all the little things.
Yes, all
the little things.
So we'll probably wrap it up there. If you've stayed this long, thank you very much. We appreciate it. But yeah, it's always fun doing these Q&As. If you have any questions about anything, just pop them in the comments below. We would love to answer them for you. Keep an eye out for all those videos that I mentioned. We're going to be doing a Troopy update. We're going to be doing a Headspace conversion update. So there's things in the cards.
Thanks for watching, and if you're new here, haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe. If you haven't watched our travel stuff from this year, go and do it. It's actually really good. We're happy with it. So
actually really good.
It actually is really good, so we're proud of it. So go and watch it, and yeah, we'll see you guys in the next one.
Cheers. See ya.